Welcome to the Portland Film Festival Welcome to the Portland Film Festival presented for the fourth consecutive year by Comcast. We want to thank the Comcast's team's tremendous support and commitment to independent filmmakers. Their ongoing support ensures that diverse voices are given a platform to share their unique perspective on the world. We'd also like to thank Kerner Camera, Portland Mortgage, and Oregon Film. Find out more information or buy tickets online at pdxf.com. Today, I have with me Peter Hsieh and Johnny Gilligan from the film Drive All Night. Peter is the director, writer, producer, and editor, and I guess everything else on the small budget movie. And then Johnny plays our lovable hitman.
Yeah, well,
on the trail.
I think he's lovable.
So. First of all, Peter, this is your first film. How was it getting a movie made?
Yeah, it's been really cool. I've always wanted to make a film. You know, I primarily started in screen playwriting actually, and then I think the way this came about was really cool. You know, getting the investors together, producers, talking with people, collaborating with all the cast and crew, and yeah, I'm really happy to have the opportunity.
And this being your first film, I guess what were some of the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome to get this one, produced?
I think one of the biggest ones was just kind of learning a lot of new things I didn't know on more of the business production side. A lot of SAG paperwork. I think first off, and then also just kind of getting everyone together, kind of on the same page. I think pre-production, that was like the toughest part. But I think once production rolled around, and then obviously post-production, I think things went much smoother.
Awesome. Well, we have one of your actors here. What was it like directing actors for film?
Yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed my cast. I think they really brought their A game to Drive All Night, especially since the script's not a traditional script. It's a little more surreal, kind of a little more interpretive, and I didn't really give them really hard this is what your character's supposed to be. I left it more up for kind of interpretation and exploration. And also, I think they did a really great job. Just, we didn't have a lot of, time to shoot. Obviously, we're a small budget film. So I think every scene, I think they got maybe like 2-3 takes, except for maybe just a few scenes, right? And so I think they really, really did a great job on that front.
And Johnny, how was it working with a first-time director like Peter?
It was great. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I think the script had a lot of there was a lot of mood to it that I really enjoyed. And even then, you can see in the movie now there's a tone, there's a specific mood to the whole thing. And Lenny was such an interesting character. And I think the sets, the places where we shot, they kind of helped me as an actor, right? Because to get into that kind of weird, kind of like Lenny vibe, right? So it was great. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was a lot of fun.
There's definitely a very strong color element to the movie. I really see that your characters lived in different colors as well. Peter, can you speak to that a little?
Yeah, definitely. When I was talking to the cinematographer William Helmuth, we kind of decided to use very a neon kind of neo-noir kind of vibe, right? And to give actors each their color, and to give kind of color their meaning, the saturated red, blues, kind of purples, multicolors. And so with a lot of Kara, who's the played by Lexi Hammond's the main protagonist, we had a lot of kind of pinks and reds and stuff, right? And then you kind of see Utaka a lot of times against kind of colder blue lights to kind of differentiate them and stuff. And the locations kind of really helped inform that. We shot primarily in San Jose. There's this bar called Mini Boss, and it's like an arcade bar, and so we were able to kind of rig it up to really let the colors kind of pop there and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, arcade bar is definitely a very fun thing. We have a few in this town as well.
Very cool.
Speaking of video games, I mean, obviously, Peter, you're a big gamer. Johnny, are you a gamer as well?
Yeah, well, I played a lot a long time ago, but I still play a little bit. But I think the for Lenny, the competitive aspect of it, because I'm just pretty competitive by nature. It's a good and bad thing. But for Lenny, it was, he's such a focused and kind of uncomplicated character. It's like he just has a goal and he goes after it, and everything else kind of falls to the wayside. And I think so I could somewhat tap into that and then kind of play that. But yeah, I've definitely been to arcades like that and I have fun with those games too. So
Nice. I saw in here that there's a video game version or a video game component of the movie itself.
Yeah, definitely. My producers, Sam and Jonathan Q, they're actually game developers, and we worked kind of together on a video game prior. And so we thought it'd be kind of cool to create like a small mobile game for Drive All Night. It's available on Apple iOS and Android. It's free, so you can check it out, download it, play it. It's kind of just like a slash and hack through the levels type stuff, and it shows like the world of the movie, but things that aren't in the movie. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and you can just download it and try it, and yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I played it. I got a kick out of kicking the crap out of
Yeah.
myself in the game. So it was like, it was it was a blast. It's fun.
It's awesome. So where did the impetus of this particular movie come from? I mean, it's definitely a neo noir, and it definitely takes place like over one night, which is a lot of fun to have those kind of singular movies. But
Yeah, I think, well, part of it was in around 2015, 2016. I was like having trouble sleeping, so I'd drive around at night just listening to music, kind of around like downtown San Jose area. And I think that was kind of the backdrop of which I set the movie to: person driving around at night by themselves, unable to sleep. And then obviously I think a lot of the, inspiration from films, came from stuff like, like surrealism, like David Lynch's stuff, or like Drive, which, films I really liked. And I tried to kind of like, create that kind of tone, and then I came up with like the different elements, different characters, kind of like structured so it's like he's drifting into a dream and then back out again.
yeah, you definitely get that impression, with the kind of in between, moments, the arcade machines and the video cameras and stuff. Is that all? So you say you shot it all in the San Jose area, including all the overhead shots and stuff. Like those highways are stunning.
Oh yeah, some of the a lot of overhead shots I actually just bought from someone else. I think it was like Poland or something. So those weren't San Jose. Some of it was like LA, and stuff. But I think we had some actual live driving, because a lot of the driving we actually did using projections inside of a CrossFit gym. It was the largest and darkest place I can find. And so we did a lot of the driving scenes like projection there. Obviously it to lend a specific stylistic element, but also because it's a lot safer than actually driving, especially on a small budget, and then restrooms, stopping for stuff. But yeah, we did a few like live driving scenes, few shooting on locations downtown.
That was
Well,
cool.
projection looks so much better than green screen anyway.
I think so.
Sorry, Johnny.
Yeah, just on those gym scenes. Yeah, we drove the Camaro. Was it Camaro or Mustang into the gym?
Something
It
like
was
that.
like
Yeah. I think it was a Mustang. Yeah.
we drove into this gym, and it's like, and then see all this gym equipment around the place, and then we set up. It was incredible setup, like all this kind of like lights and projecting kind of like what I would see out front, and with the back road passing on one side, and those scenes. So I saw them in the trailer. It was like,
Hmm.
wow,
Yeah.
they look so awesome. Yeah, that was a fun day.
Was there what were some of the hardest things to shoot with being on such a low budget?
Um, I think this is kind of definitely an ambitious first film to go off of, right? Because I didn't write it with the mind of me shooting it on a low budget, but then in a sense, I think it being kind of one night and having just 2 or 3 central characters kind of lent itself to that. But because of all the various locations, kind of like layers of reality. It was kind of hard finding a lot of locations that weren't like too far off, that were all within maybe San Jose area. I would say the harder days are probably the projection days, because on a technical element, we had to set up the projectors just right. There was a lot of like using kind of lights, moving lights and like shaking the car to kind of create the illusion of actually driving. And so I think setup on that day was hard. And, just big shout out to my entire crew, camera, lights, sound people, hair, makeup, production people. I think they did a really wonderful job to, really make that happen.
It's awesome. So is that true about Jean-Claude being the impetus for Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, it is. I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan, so I know a lot about Mortal Kombat. I've played, I think, almost all of them and stuff. And yeah, but yeah, it was supposed to be like a Universal Soldiers video game. They couldn't get the rights, and so they said, you know what, Mortal Kombat, people in the outworld fighting, make it the bloodiest thing ever, and it worked.
Nice. Yeah, just think about him being the original Predator before they recast him with the big Predator. That Jean-Claude, he's got so many brushes with fame, even though he's famous.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting through to the making of the movie, well, I had asked earlier, but with the editing portion of it, like, what was it like? You said that the original was 2 hours. Like, what was it like getting it down to this length?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tricky because like I didn't expect the first cut to be 2 hours, because we only shot for maybe like 14, 15 days total, which is very short for a feature film. But I ended up with like a lot of footage, a lot of stuff we packed in. So the first cut was that, and then my editor Guillermo and I, and then my sound designer composer also, we kind of looked at it and we said, we got to cut it down. And so it was kind of, I think we did maybe like seven drafts of it. This was like right when everything locked down. So we ideally, we were like, well, we're going to be in front of our computers anyway for quite a long time. And so the cool thing was we had time to really cut it down. There were a few kind of really beautiful scenes, really just looked cool, but I had to cut them. And it's one of those things where you almost don't want to, because you spent a lot of time putting in, and the actors did such a great job. But at the same time, you're like, it doesn't add that much to the story, and so you gotta pick and choose. Get it down to that 93 minutes.
None of Johnny's scenes though were cut.
I think that one or two.
You have to put that on the special, the DVD special. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Deleted scenes.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's one thing I think streaming is definitely missing, is all the deleted scenes and the commentaries and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a distribution thing going, or?
Yeah, we do actually. So we signed so a few months back, we signed with the Mutiny Pictures. They're like a smaller, newer distributor. And yeah, we got actually right off the gate like several distribution offers, and I think they offered like the best one in terms of kind of money split, and as well as like what they were offering. We have a limited theatrical, so that's kind of cool. I think with a 5-screen minimum, so we'll be playing in like select theaters. I think this will be early 2022, I believe. And then also it's a worldwide distribution deal, so I know they're going to be at American film market trying to sell to other territories as well. Yeah, so definitely look out for Drive All Night. If you don't see it at this festival, get the DVD, watch it in theaters.
Yeah,
The numbers are good.
That shows deleted scenes.
Yeah, definitely. And then 7 years later, come out with a director's cut.
With the video game.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Was there any? I mean, 14 days is a fast shoot. Where was it difficult shooting at night, or were you guys shooting inside during the day? I mean, night shoots are always, I've heard, horrible.
Yeah, I think we did like 4 night shoots total, I think maybe. So there weren't actually a lot of them. And then the rest of them we shot like indoors during the day. And it was primarily, I think, a lot of the bar scenes and then some of the driving scenes and the diner scenes that had to be shot at night because yeah, just because there's no customers in the locations. But I think it wasn't too bad for me. I'm like half nocturnal anyway, but I'm sure for some other people might have been a little more difficult.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking over my notes real quick. How did you apologize, but
No, no problem.
I can hear that in the background. Speaking of the like I said, this is my third one, so I'm still kind of new at this whole thing. But
No problem.
Oh, good.
did I don't know, as someone who drove a cab for like 5 minutes when I was younger, I think it's interesting when people always ask you what you did before being a cab driver. How did you come up with your character working in beer?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. I think they were at a bar, and that's what I came up with. Because I think in my head he was lying about that, you know. So he was at a bar and he's just like drinking beer. I know something about beer. I can say I worked in beer. So there's that layer of he didn't actually work in it, but he knows enough about it. Like like for example, if I know quite a lot about Mortal Kombat, I can say I was really good. No one will know really. Although that doesn't really help me because we pull up to an arcade, then I'm exposed. But with beer, I think he could get away with it.
Also, he has the added caveat of not being able to drink because he is driving.
Yeah. I think in the original script he was drinking, but then I thought about it some more and it's like, actually, you know what? Dave wouldn't. He's very by the book in terms of like the professionalism aspect of being a taxi driver. Despite the mystery surrounding him, I don't think he would drink. So
I also like how you left the ending very open-ended, with the ticket and the money and everything. Do you think he's going to fly off, or does he stick around?
In my opinion, I always hate it when like directors like, well, what do you think? So I'll give an actual answer. Obviously, it's up to interpretation. I don't think he gets on that plane. I think he stays because
Yeah, I
like
get that feeling as well.
yeah, I think if you look at it in terms of a realistic situation, I think 90% of people would stay.
Yeah, it's hard to upend your whole life and go do something like that. Now, Lenny, you didn't, I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but are you still going to be in pursuit
I'm always in pursuit.
for your character?
Lenny's always in pursuit. Yeah. There'll be a Lenny. There's a Lenny standalone movie, right? Right, Peter?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Go watch the movie. It's fun. Check out Lenny.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, we should start wrapping up. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to bring up about this movie? It was, definitely an interesting neo noir. We don't see too many, of these kind of neo noir movies anymore with such strong, color and tone and pace.
Right. Yeah, I guess one thing, it's kind of like the inspiration for that is I really wanted to go for kind of like a tone mood movie that was kind of surreal, kind of layered and kind of open to interpretation. And I think the challenges of being an independent filmmaker when you're just starting out is obviously funding, manpower, connections. You don't really have too much of that, so you kind of just put all your eggs in one basket and go for it, which is what I did, right? And but the thing about being a first time filmmaker is you always wonder when you're going to get your next film, right? I had the flexibility to do whatever I want for this one pretty much. And, I hope I get an opportunity like that again to do another one. Because I feel that if given the right creative control and the right resources, I can make the best version of what's in my head and it'll blow everyone's minds, which might be a cocky thing to say, but I honestly do believe that. So I hope I get another shot at it, and I'm very grateful for the one I had. So definitely shout out to my investors and producers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, what's next for you guys in terms of?
You go first, Peter.
Me, I mean, it's a lot of pitching my scripts. Hopefully, in next film, I have some stuff kind of in development, one under option, but nothing certain yet.
For me, I'm actually doing a lot of writing at the moment. Read a bunch of scripts, 4 or 5 pilots that are doing well in circulation, and a couple of sci-fi features, grounded sci-fi features that are doing well. So hopefully, I'm talking to one production company about one, and we'll see. So I'm kind of shifting into the writing part, right? I'm still doing some acting, but it's more about the writing. But just on this movie, it's such a beautiful movie to watch. I think I encourage, as part of this festival, wherever you see it, I think watch it with the, a dark room with the lights down. I think it's the sound is so great. It's just I think it's just such a beautiful movie to watch. On top of all the story stuff, I think it's beautifully shot and edited. I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah,
definitely go see it in theaters when it's out.
yeah,
I'll let everyone know. And
It definitely feels like a movie to see in a theater. Like it's got that real strong visual and audio style that you really want to take in. Sorry, the shout out.
Oh yeah, to Robert Daniel Thomas, my composer. I think he did a really great job. As the first feature film he's composed, and we went for kind of like that synth wave, kind of ominous vibe, and I think he just really knocked out of the park. Without the score, I don't think it would be quite as good.
No, I think you guys definitely nailed what you guys were looking to accomplish with this piece. It definitely, left a real strong atmospheric impression on us at the festival. So thank you very much for joining us at this the Portland Film Festival. We do look forward for people to see it online, but we do want you to see it in theaters when it comes out next year. Remember we need you guys to vote for these movies. So there's a virtual voting after the screening. And thank you, Peter. Thank you, Johnny, for joining us at this year's Portland Film Festival. We enjoy having you, and we really love this movie.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for bearing with me there.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, it's always tricky doing interviews. I feel, it's like I've done a few of them myself, kind of for like work stuff when I do like work content. But yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, it's good
Awesome.
meeting you.
Yeah, you guys too. I mean, obviously I want to ask about stuff like what do you guys think about the strike coming up and things like that, but I don't think that's necessarily like, stuff for the film festival audience right now. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in the world that it's kind of like, but I think, that's why I think movies and stuff like this are so important. They're escapism, right? There's a lot of shit going down in the world right now. It's go watch a movie, gives you an hour and a half kind of away from all that. Hopefully it's entertaining and you kind of come back somewhat ready for the world again. Right? That's why
definitely
movies and entertainment are important.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right. Well, you guys have a good rest of your day and,
cool.
To take care.
Yeah, you as well. All right. See you later, Johnny. See you, Ben.